Good morning students, welcome all of you to the chemistry online classes. So we have discussed so many concepts till now, and in today's class we want to discuss about the Bohr's atomic model, one of the very important model. As you know, you have studied regarding various models. In that, Rutherford model was deleted portion. Just I will explain it. Rutherford also he has contributed his own ideas towards the structure of an atom. So, what he said, an atom consisting of the nucleus, an atom consisting of the positively charged nucleus which is present at the center, and the electrons are revolving around it, and the electrons are revolving around it. This idea was given by the scientist Rutherford, okay. And then the scientist Niels Bohr, he has utilized the ideas given by the Rutherford atomic model as well as Max Planck quantum theory. Both the theory ideas was used by the scientist Niels Bohr, and he expressed his ideas regarding the structure of an atom, and this is the one of the important atomic model, that is what we called as Bohr's atomic model. Okay. So, according to Rutherford theory got failed, then those ideas were utilized by the scientist Bohr. Then what was failed in the Rutherford theory? Say according to Rutherford, the nucleus is present at the center and the electrons are revolving around it. So, when the electrons are revolving around the nucleus, those electrons are accelerated. So, when these electrons are accelerated, when those are continuously in movement or motion, what happens? These electrons emit the radiations. The energy is emitted in the form of the radiation, then the electron loses its energy and it starts to get merged into the nucleus. It starts merging into the nucleus, thus the atom gets collapsed. There is no existence of an atom. This is that is the Rutherford theory cannot explain regarding the stability of an atom. Okay. See here, if an electron getting collapsed inside the nucleus means whether that atom is said to be existence or whether we can able to explain the stability of that atom? No. So, the Rutherford theory failed to explain regarding the stability of an atom. Okay. And then the ideas which were given by the scientist Rutherford was utilized by the scientist Niels Bohr. So, ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಟೋಮಿಕ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಬರೋಕಿನ್ನ ಮುಂಚೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಿರ್ತಾವ್ರಿ, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದರೊಳಗೆ ಮೇನ್ ಒಬ್ರು ಬರೋರು ಯಾರಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರೂದರ್ಫೋರ್ಡ್ ಅಟೋಮಿಕ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತೈತಿ. ರೂದರ್ಫೋರ್ಡ್ ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಹೇಳಿರ್ತಾರ, ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಇರ್ತೈತಿ, ಒಂದು ಆಟಮ್ದ ಸೆಂಟರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಇರ್ತೈತಿ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಅದ್ರ ಸುತ್ತ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾವಪ್ಪ, ರಿವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರ್ತಾವು. ಓಕೆ. ಆದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಏನು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗತೈತಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರೂದರ್ಫೋರ್ಡ್ ಥಿಯರಿ ಅದು ಸ್ಟೆಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಅನ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನೂ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲನೇಷನ್ ಕೊಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಸ್ಟೆಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಅನ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನೂ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲನೇಷನ್ ಕೊಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಸುತ್ತ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಪಾತ್ವೆ ಒಳಗೆ ರಿವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗುವಾಗ ಇಟ್ ಗೆಟ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಲರೇಟೆಡ್. ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಎಕ್ಸೆಲರೇಟ್ ಆದಾಗ ಇಟ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೈತಿ, ತನ್ನಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಎನರ್ಜಿಯನ್ನು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ಲಿ ರೇಡಿಯೇಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಎಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೈತಿ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ಲಿ ಅದ್ರ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಏನಾಗಕತ್ತೈತಿ ರೀ, ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗಾಕತ್ತೈತಿ. ಸೊ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತೈತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಪಾತ್ವೇದಿಂದ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಸ್ಪೈರಲ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಬಂದು ಫೈನಲಿ ಅದು ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಕೊಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ ಅಂಥೇಳಿ ಅನ್ಕೋತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನು this cannot explain the stability. ಸೊ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಆದರೆ ಆಟಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಆಟಮ್ದ ಸ್ಟೆಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ವಾಸ್ ದ ಫೇಲ್ಯೂರ್ of the Rutherford atomic theory. So the scientist Niels Bohr utilized both Rutherford atomic model as well as Max Planck's quantum theory in order to give his atomic model, in order to give his ideas regarding the structure of an atom. So let us discuss what are the points given by the scientist Niels Bohr. See here, So we will go by one. The electrons revolve around the nucleus. As we know that this is the positively charged nucleus and the electrons are revolving around the nucleus. Yes or no? The electrons are revolving around the nucleus like this in the different pathways. Okay. So, the scientist first point given by the Niels Bohr was the electrons are revolving around the nucleus in certain selected pathways, and these pathways are called as, in certain selected orbits or pathways, these are called as stationary states or energy levels or energy cells. See here, shortly I am going to write the points. The electrons are revolving around the nucleus. The electrons revolve around nucleus in certain selected pathway or orbit. These are called as stationary states or energy levels or energy shells. Okay. And as you know, there are K shell, K, L, M, N cells are there. This first orbit is known as K cell, M cell. Okay. So, this was the first postulate or the idea given by the Niels Bohr. So, what is that? The electrons revolve around the nucleus in certain selected pathway or orbit. These orbits are called as stationary states or that is energy levels or energy cells. So, second point, as long as the electron revolve around the nucleus in a stationary orbit, it does not lose energy or it does not gain energy. The energy of an electron is constant. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗತೈತ್ರಿ ನಾ ಹೇಳತ್ತಿರೋದು. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಸುತ್ತ ಒಂದು ಸರ್ಟೆನ್ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಪಾತ್ವೆ ಒಳಗೆ ರಿವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗಕತ್ತೈತಿ. ಈ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಪಾತ್ವೆಗೆ ಏನಂತೀವಪ್ಪ, ಸ್ಟೇಷನರಿ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಯಾವಾಗ ಈ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ it is moving, as long as the electron moving around the nucleus in the orbit, it does not lose the energy or it does not gain the energy. Its energy is constant. So, the second point is regarding as long as electron revolving around nucleus in orbits, it does not lose or gain energy. That is, energy of an electron is constant. Is constant, and the cell which is nearer, to nucleus has the less energy. Cell nearer to nucleus has less energy and the outer cell has more energy. More energy. Are you getting? So, ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ತನ್ನ ಆರ್ಬಿಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಸುತ್ತ ರಿವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗುವಾಗ ಅದು ಯಾವುದೇ ಎನರ್ಜಿನ ಗೇನ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ಅದು ಅದು ಏನಂತೀವಲ್ಲ ಎಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ ರೀ. ಓಕೆ, ಇಟ್ ಡಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೇನ್ ಆರ್ ಇಟ್ ಡಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಲೂಸ್ ಎನಿ ಎನರ್ಜಿ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಆಫ್ ಎನ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೆಡ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಎ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಂಟ್. ಅದರ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತೈತೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಪ್ರೆಡಿಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವ ಸೆಲ್ ನಿಯರರ್ ಟು ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಇರ್ತೈತಿ, ದ ಸೆಲ್ ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್, ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಇದು ನಿಯರರ್ ಟು ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಐತಿ, ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಏನಾಗಿರ್ತೈತಿ ಅವೇ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್, ಇದು ಔಟರ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಇದು ನಿಯರರ್. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು 3 ಆರ್ಬಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ ಇದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ಬಿಟ್ is nearer to nucleus which is having the less energy, while the orbit which is outer cell that is having the more energy. Okay, so this is the second postulate. And the third postulate is the energy of an electron is quantized. Of an electron is quantized and the angular momentum of an electron, angular momentum of an electron is an integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. That is angular momentum mvr is equals to nh upon 2 pi, where n is an integer. N is an integer which is having the value 1, 2, 3 and so on. Okay. So, energy of an electron is quantized, it has a particular value, it is quantized we can say. That is the angular moment of a moving electron. Angular momentum of a moving electron is always an integral multiple of h upon 2 pi quantity. That is angular momentum of electron is represented by mvr and which is always an integral multiple. N is an integer, it is an integral multiple of h upon 2 pi value. Okay. And the last point is, okay, when the energy is supplied to a electron, the electron jump from lower energy level to the higher energy level when they gains the energy. So, they emit the energy when they jump from higher energy to lower energy. See here, the energy is absorbed, the electron jumps from lower to higher energy level when it gains the energy. When it gains the energy. And electron jumps from higher to lower, from higher to lower energy level when it emits the energy or when it loses the energy. Okay. Say here, suppose this is the nucleus and these are the orbits. You consider these are the orbits. Okay. Suppose an electron is here. So, when you consider second and fourth orbit, this is the lower energy level and this is the higher energy level. Okay. As we said, the nearer is having the less energy and which is outer cell is having the more energy. So, this is the higher energy level and this is the lower energy level. Suppose if I am supplying an energy to this, when I am supplying an energy, okay, so this electron jump from lower energy level to the higher energy level. You can take this is third one is also the higher energy. Okay, the electron jumps from lower energy to the higher energy level when it gains the energy. And then when suppose this electron only lost the energy, means it will jump from higher to lower energy level, from higher to lower energy level. Okay, are you getting my point? When an electron gains the energy, when an atom gains the energy, it transfers to electron. The electron, when it gains the energy, it jumps from lower to higher level. So when it is not stable, it cannot able to stay there for a long time, again that electron loses its energy and it jumps from higher to lower energy level. So this is the last point, the electron jumps from lower to higher energy level when it gains the energy, and it jumps from higher to lower energy level when it emits the what we can say energy. Suppose E1 and E2 are the energy level. Suppose this is the lowest energy level and this is E2 is the highest energy level. Okay. So when the electron jumps from higher to, when it jumps from higher to lower, that time energy is given by, we know that delta E is equals to h nu, and now this delta, that is change in energy, is given by E2 minus E1. Okay, it is jumping from higher to lower, E2 minus E1 is equals to h nu, and this can also be represented as E2 minus E1 is equals to h into C by lambda. We know that nu is equals to C by lambda. So this is the fourth point given by the scientist Niels Bohr. I hope so it is clear. So when the electron gets the energy, it jumps from a lower energy level to the higher. When it lost its energy, it again jumps from higher to lower. Suppose this is the level which is E2 and this is the level E1 you consider. Then the change in the energy is E2 minus E1, which is equivalent to h nu. We know that nu can be replaced by C by lambda. So the scientist Niels Bohr he gave a very good idea regarding the structure of an atom. He utilized both Rutherford model as well as the Max Planck quantum theory. Okay. And then the postulates of the Bohr's atomic theory. The first postulate, electrons revolve around the nucleus in certain selected orbits. These orbits are called as stationary states or energy levels or energy cells. As you know, those are KLMN cells. Okay. And the second point is, as long as the electron is revolving around the nucleus in the orbit, it does not lose the energy, it does not gain the energy. That is, the energy is constant. Okay. And the cell which is nearer, the cell which is nearer to nucleus has the less energy and the outer cell has the more energy. Clear? And the third point is, energy of an electron is quantized, that is, the angular momentum of an electron is always an integral multiple of h upon 2 pi quantity. Okay, that is represented by mvr is equals to nh upon 2 pi, where n is an integer, h is a Planck's constant, m is the mass of an electron, v is the velocity, r is the radius of that orbit. Clear? And the last point is, the electron jumps from lower to higher energy level when it gains the energy. Okay. And then it emits the energy. When it goes to higher energy level, it cannot stay for a long time. Again it emits the energy, it jumps to the lower energy. So when the jumping occurs from higher to lower, when it lost or when it emits its energy. Suppose E1 and E2 are the energy levels, which is one is higher energy level and one more is lower energy level. Then the energy is given by delta E is equal to h nu. Delta E is nothing but E2 minus E1, higher to lower. E2 minus E1 is equals to h nu, and nu can be replaced by C by lambda. E2 minus E1 is equals to hc divided by lambda is the point, last point. It includes this last point. So all these are the postulates of the Bohr's atomic theory, and many times in your examination, write the postulates of the Bohr's atomic model is asked for your examination. At around 3 marks, they are going to ask you this question. So it is very important, note down the points clearly. I hope so it is clear for you. Okay. So, let us move towards so as the scientist Bohr gave the idea regarding the structure of an atom, that Bohr's atomic model is applicable to the hydrogen atom, even hydrogen like some other elements. So, let us discuss few of the points here. So, when the theory is applicable to the hydrogen atom, so few of the points, so few of the observation, and they have given certain formulae that we will discuss now. So, the first point is that stationary states for the electron are represented as n is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4. These integers are known as principal quantum numbers of the stationary states. So, you know already that the first orbit, second orbit, third orbit. So, these are stationary states are represented as n is equals to 1. We know that this is the positively charged nucleus and this is the first cell where n is equals to 1, that is orbit number. So, these stationary states are represented by n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, and these integers 1, 2, 3, 4, these integer value is known as principal quantum number. Again this concept will come in the quantum number, there we will explain clearly. So, just you remember here that the value of the n is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, and these integers are known as the principal quantum numbers of the stationary states. Okay. And then they have calculated the radius of the Bohr's orbit. The radius of the Bohr's orbit is given by Rn is equals to a naught into n square. Okay, where Rn is the radius of the nth orbit. Rn is nothing but radius of nth orbit. Any orbit's radius, if we want to calculate, that the formula is Rn is equals to a naught into n square, where a naught is, what is a naught? A naught is the radius of the first Bohr orbit. A naught is the radius of the, this is the radius of the first Bohr orbit, whose value is also calculated, that is 53 picometer. A naught, the value already calculated, the formula is that Rn is equals to a naught into n square, that a naught is nothing but a radius of the first Bohr orbit. First orbit the radius irtadalri adu, and its value is 53 picometer, and that a naught is called as Bohr's radius. A naught is called as Bohr's radius, and n is the number of the orbit. N is the number of orbit. So, a naught value they have already calculated, that is 53 picometer. If I substitute here, Rn is equals to 53 picometer into n square, and this is the constant. This is the constant value. If I remove that, Rn is directly proportional to n square. Rn is directly proportional to n square. Radius is directly proportional to the number of the cell, that is n. Okay. Or orbit number we can able to say. So, this is the second point, which is according to Bohr, that is Bohr theory when it is applicable to the hydrogen atom. So, let us discuss one more point. The energy of an electron in the Bohr's orbit is given. The energy of an electron in the Bohr's orbit is given by En is equals to, that is energy, En in the nth orbit, energy is equals to En is equals to minus RH into bracket 1 by n square. So, n is already you know orbit number, and what is RH? RH is called as a Rydberg constant, and its value is 2.18 into 10 to the power minus 18 joules, or if we express that in terms of the electron volt, it will be around 13.6 electron volt. So, just you substitute the value here. Let us consider the energy of the first orbit. I need to know energy of an electron which is present in the first orbit. The energy of an electron in the first Bohr orbit, En is equals to RH value, we know that, minus 2.18 into 10 to the power 18, and keep n as it is, keep 1 as it is, and the value of the n is 1 because it is a first orbit. And then if we calculated this one, it will be around minus 13.6 electron volt. So, this is the energy of an electron which is present in the first Bohr orbit. Clear? And the last one more thing is that the velocity of an electron in a Bohr's orbit is given by the formula Vn is equals to 2.16 into 10 to the power 6 into bracket 1 by n meter per second. So, this is also the formula. So, totally they have given 4 points regarding the hydrogen atom. First one, the energy stationary states for an electron is represented by n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. All these are called as principal quantum numbers of the stationary states. And the second point is regarding the radius of the Bohr's orbit. Rn is equals to a naught into n square, where a naught is the first Bohr's orbit whose value is 53 picometer, and then n is the orbit number. We can say that if we remove this constant, you are going to get Rn is directly proportional to n square. And next point is regarding the energy of the Bohr's orbit. En is equals to minus Rh into bracket 1 by n square, where Rh is the Rydberg constant having the value of 2.18 into 10 to the power minus 18 joules. Okay, if I substitute energy of an electron which is present in the first orbit, energy of an electron which is present in the first orbit is calculated, and that is around minus 13.6 electron volt. And then finally, the velocity of an electron in the Bohr's orbit is given by the formula Vn is equals to 2.16 into 10 to the power 6 into 1 by n meter per second. Okay. So, all these are the points, and this Bohr's theory, even it is applicable to certain other elements like hydrogen like elements or hydrogen like ions. There little we are going to change the formula. For example, this energy is represented by En is equals to Rh into Z square divided by n square. Z value for the hydrogen is 1. But if we are applying rather than hydrogen for some other hydrogen like elements, there we are introducing here Z square in the formula, and for the velocity there we are introducing that is 2.16 into 10 to the power 6 into Z divided by n. Instead of taking 1, we are substituting their Z, we have to put the value of the Z in the hydrogen like other elements. If I am considering only hydrogen, you can go for it. You can go for this formula for the hydrogen, But if I am applying for hydrogen like other elements, just introduce the Z square here in case of the energy and introduce a Z in case of the velocity. So, all these are the points which were given by the scientist Niels Bohr. In that, these formulas are important for your numericals, and this is the theoretical part which they are going to ask you as like write the postulates of the Bohr's atomic model. That question will be asked for you people, and I hope so it is clear for you people. Simple Bohr's atomic model, that is also very simple, and certain points which are very important, just note down the formula one side and write the value of the RH and everything properly. So, whenever the numerical is asked, during that time you can use this formula, and whatever they have given the quantities, you can apply it, you can simplify later, like that you have to do it. And here directly they are going to ask you the Bohr's atomic model, and this is the formula, this is also one of the important formula, and mvr is equals to nh upon 2 pi. So, this is also helpful for your problems. I hope so it is clear. If you have any doubts, you can contact me, and you can watch the video twice, you can able to understand every concept. Until that, keep watching the video. Thank you.